guys, welcome to the October income report. Now, one of the things I've struggled with in the past is honestly making videos. So I'm going to try to be more consistent about making videos for the YouTube audience and not just people that view my website at bloggersontherise.com. This is my October income report. This month I earned $12,795 from various blogs that I own and operate. That's down from last month's total of $13,660. Now, I'm not worried that it's down because the reality is that many of my blogs do well in the spring, and I have over 30 sites that are still seeing under 1,000 page views per month, so they're not monetized at all, but they're still getting content, and I know that they'll grow and eventually be able to contribute to that income. Since I do have 42 active websites as of this month, I'm going to focus on just some of the bigger ones. I also asked a random number generator to pick a random number between 1 and 42 so that I could showcase one of the smaller sites that's up and coming. It's just not feasible to show them all, so I thought this was a good way for you guys to get a sneak peek at one of the sites that I'm still in the process of building but isn't quite contributing yet. Let's get into it. Let's go through my October 2021 income report. My goals this month were to publish 253 posts and earn $500 in product revenue. Product revenue is something that I haven't been focusing on as much as creating content, but it is a skill that I want to continue to develop. We can see that I actually published 163 posts and earned $145 in product revenue, so we came to 44% of our monthly goal. Now keep in mind that when I say I do mean we. I have a team of writers, editors, and virtual assistants that help me output this level of content. Currently I have 42 active websites. 15 of those are monetized either with Ezoic or Mediavine. I have 6 with Mediavine and the remaining sites are all with Ezoic. And this month my blogs earned $12,794.98. Another sidebar here. Money earned this month is not going to be paid out this month, and that's why you're going to see a discrepancy. My income reports at bloggersontherise.com always report the money that I earned against the money that I expended in that same month. That's called accrual accounting, but the reality is my profit and loss statement and what I pay taxes on is cash-based accounting. And that's why you're going to see a discrepancy between the previous slide and the next slides, which show the profit and loss. So here we can see on my profit and loss for October that I actually received into my bank account $11,860.06 from ad partners. In addition, I received $203.93 from Amazon. And this month I did something new. GoDaddy reached out to me and had somebody that was interested in one of my domains. It was an aged domain that I had purchased but hadn't yet put any content on and wasn't one that I was going to develop anytime in the near future. So I went ahead and sold the domain for $500, and that $499.10 is what I received in my bank account. I also sold $139 worth of product. Now keep in mind that product revenue is typically reported in the same month. Sometimes it won't if it's at the end of the month because it will carry over to the next month when it actually hits my bank account, which is how this P&L is generated. But in general, that $139 are digital products I sold this month that I also got paid for this month. So the total income actually received in my bank account this month is $12,702.09. On the expenses side, we have $451 in advertising and marketing. This is largely ConvertKit, but also includes my Shopify fee and my SendOwl fee, which are 2 platforms that I use to distribute digital products. Contractors, this is my writers, virtual assistants, and editors. I spent $8,094.64. Education, this is anytime I take an online course or have a course renewal fee, that all gets categorized as education. And this month I spent $517.45. Graphic templates, now this is separate from graphic designer, which is included in the contractors section. Graphic templates are any service that I pay for that provides me with templates. Most commonly, this is for Pinterest. So for example, I subscribe to Carly Campbell's Pinterest templates, and that's included in this $53 total, as well as 1 or 2 other subscriptions. This month I did have a high legal and professional services bill. The majority of that $1,600 is legal fees. I had her do some custom documents for me this month, and so that's why I have a high fee there that I normally wouldn't have. So office supplies are just things like printer ink or paper, normal office supply. Recurring software are things that I pay for on a monthly basis. So this includes my QuickBooks subscription, my Zapier, Genius Link, Adobe Acrobat, SEMrush, Link Whisper, anything that I pay for on a recurring basis, whether it's paid annually or monthly. If it's recurring software, it'll get lumped into here. And then we have PayPal fees and Stripe fees are just tied to products that have been sold this month. Those were the fees associated with selling those products. The net income for October, based on the income and expenses that you've seen, is negative $844.36. We can see the orange line is expenses and the blue line is income. So I have a lot of sites that do well in the spring in that March, April, May, June period, and those help balance out the expenses that stay pretty steady around $10,000 month over month. And again, I did have a higher amount of expenses this month just mostly due to the legal bill that I had come in. I think my goal this year was 5,000 total posts published, and we can see that I'm going to fall way short of that. And that's okay, but post-published, because I'm primarily monetized through content, ads on content, this is really a number that I want to keep in front of me, front and center, to track throughout the year. And this year to date, I've published 1,454 blog posts as of the month of October. So let's take a look at one of my first sites. This is my niche site project 1. This is the first site that I really started figuring out blogging with. Now, if you've seen my video over on the Income School channel where I talk about how that course really transformed the way that I approach blogging, this is the same site that I talked about there. In October, this site earned $3,877.38. We published 4 posts, and there are now 390 total posts on the site. It had 121,540 page views, 102,000 of which were organic. The remaining page views are predominantly Pinterest with also some Google Discover traffic as well. Earned $115.55 in affiliate revenue, that would be Amazon. $84 in product revenue, that's a digital printable product that I sell on this site. And $3,677.83 earned with Mediavine. Niche Site Project 2 is a budgeting site. This site does really well for me December, January, and then kind of trails off. It's also not a site that I'm actively publishing on any month, but I do have some printable products that do sell, just kind of automated by themselves each month. In October, I published 0 posts, and there are now 107 total posts. One thing to keep in mind up here on the left, I do have the age of the site and the domain authority. This site was purchased as an age domain. It was a budgeting site before I got it, and I'm just putting the same type of content on it. My Niche Site Project 1 site was a domain that I started from scratch, but like 10 years ago. So I'll try to note that as I go through the rest of these slides. Just under 16,000 total page views, 8,000 organic. The big difference there is definitely Pinterest. $1.75 in Amazon revenue, $61 in product revenue, and almost $275 in ad revenue for this site. Now expect to see a big jump in this site come December and January. And then unless I add more content or, improve the content strategy for the site, I don't expect it to do much, more than that. Niche Site Project 3 is a fun one. This was my Project 24 project site. So this was the domain I purchased from scratch when I joined Project 24. And this is by far my biggest money earner now, which is just really fun to see. In October, it earned $4,193.44. I published 45 total posts to the site, and it now has 479 total posts. We got just under 150,000 page views, $50 in affiliate revenue via Amazon, and $4,143 in ad revenue. The site does not have a digital product, though I do have one ready and plan on releasing it soon. Niche Site Project 4 is farm animals. Now, this domain kind of has a funny backstory. I did purchase it as an age domain, but it was a fashion website, and I've switched it over to farm animals. So if you use age domains or, kind of have done your research on that, one of the things a lot of people will say to do is not do what I did, meaning that whatever the site was before, you should continue on having your new site be about that. And here I took completely 180. Again, it was about fashion, and now it's about farm animals. And at least in my experience for this one site, it hasn't affected it at all. 26 months old is how old the site is since I've had it. I've had it 26 months. It's a domain authority 29. In October, it earned $1,224. We published 12 posts, and there are now 155 total posts on the site. 43,000 page views, and you can see the breakout between Amazon, just under $20, and the rest is Mediavine. Niche Site Project 5 is kind of a fun site. This is one that I started from scratch. I purchased the domain as a brand new domain. Nobody had ever used it before. It's now 25 months old with a domain authority of 8, but I haven't been really consistent about putting content on it. Even so, it is seeing steady growth. The total October earnings were $15.63. We published one post for a total of 118 posts. You can see that in August we were doing pretty well as far as income goes, and then we have a steep drop off in September and continuing into October. And this revenue drop off doesn't follow the same trend line as traffic. Traffic seems to be up, but revenue dropped off drastically. I'm sure that this is an issue with the eZoic placeholders and something I need to go in and adjust, but it is one of those nuances of eZoic that I don't like, that I have to manually tweak things in order to keep the ePMV up. Niche Site Project 6 is all about pets. I don't know what it is about pet websites and new bloggers, but this was one of the sites I started back when I was a new blogger. Brand new domain, I purchased it, had never been used before. The site's 24 months old. It earned $45.67 in October. We published 5 posts. There are 118 total posts on the site. We're coming in just over 9,000 page views, and we're monetized with eZoic on this one. Now I skip over 7 and 8. 7 is a parenting website that I'm not doing anything with, so it's not making any money, so I don't really focus on that one either here or on bloggersontherise.com. And Niche Site Project 8 is actually in the DIY niche, and we could cover that on a later income report. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd want to see. For Niche Site Project 9, this is an age domain that I purchased. It's 19 months since I've had it, and domain authority 18. This is why I'm a big believer in that Google Sandbox. You can totally see here how it was steady for, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months. And then it started coming out of the mythical sandbox, right? And then the income followed. This site had 24 posts published this month, 159 total posts. This is in the gardening niche. 67,000 page views, 58,000 of which are organic. This site does get some Google Discover traffic, which is really great. I do have a Pinterest for it, but I don't do much with it. $37 in Amazon revenue and $2,200 in ad revenue. So because I have so many active sites, I picked the random number generator and it pulled site 27. So I just went down to row 27 on my website spreadsheet, and that came up with Project Moonrose. And you can see a list of all of the websites I have on my website. Niche Site Project got really old after about site 9. So instead I started giving them project names. This one is Project Moonrose. I've had this site for 8 months. I purchased a domain from a domain auction, but it hadn't been used before, right? It was somebody who had bought the domain to sit on it, and it doesn't have any history like an archive.org in the Wayback Machine. Currently has a domain authority of 5. And you can see how initially in March and April, this would have been traffic from me or my VAs visiting the site. But this organic traffic is actually increasing quite nicely. 181 page views, 153 organic page views. About 25% of that is on one article, and the remainder is spread amongst several other articles. But there's not a ton of posts on there yet, so I'm not too worried about it. I hope that's provided some insight into some of the blogs that I run, as well as how I earn the income that I do. If this has been helpful, please remember to subscribe and hit the like button. And if there's any particular details that you'd like me to cover, please leave a comment, and this will help give me some ideas as far as creating new content so that I can stay more consistent and show up for you guys here on YouTube. Thanks so much.